and welcome to episode 6 of Catching Up with Joe Howe, the podcast no one asked for or expected. I'm your host, Joe, and on today's episode is part 1 of us catching up with Coach Reagan Willman.
All right, let's get into it, Coach. Well, first of all, thanks for agreeing to do this. This will be the most awkward, unprofessional interview you've ever done.
I don't know. Thank you. Well, it's my pleasure. It's the first time to do this, so we're kind of learning together. But,
First one is going to be the best one.
thanks for coming all the way up here to Georgetown, Kyle.
No problem, sir.
Good job. Been a while.
Easy trip today. I actually called him to work today.
Cool.
So it was a little easier to get through all that awesome traffic. Paycheck won't be happy, but it's all good. Growing up in Menard, small town, I consider that West Texas. I don't know if everybody else does.
Yeah, man. Menard, Texas is the perfect location because we're right on the edge of the hill country and then right on the edge of what we call West Texas. So east and south of Menard, you have the hill country with cedar trees, and you start to get into areas like Junction and Clearville, where you have the rolling hills.
And then all the West Texas.
And then West Texas, you have mesquite trees out west of us towards Alvarado, Sonora area, so it's kind of right on the edge. It's a good place to grow up.
And then growing up in Menard, I'm sure it's like any small town, you pretty much do any sport you can.
Yeah.
I'm sure you played football, basketball, you
Yeah.
said you played tennis,
Yeah.
which I'm just assuming tennis even now.
Absolutely. So middle school, 7th grade, I played all the sports, and we kind of had to, just to feel the team. And first time to play everything: football, basketball, track, and tennis were the sports we had in middle school. And I liked football and tennis. I was terrible at basketball. Came out again in 8th grade, did the same sports again, and I made the 7th grade team as an 8th grader in basketball. So I got to be the starting point guard, and I think we just called it the B team. So I was an 8th grader on the 7th grade team, what we call the B team, and I got to be the point guard. So that was fun. I got to be like the leader of the team and pass the ball a lot, or I'd go and try to miss a layup or, shoot a 3-pointer and break it. But we had a lot of fun. I got to play with my cousin who was a 7th grader. And, in a small town, half the team's your family.
Yeah.
And so it was a good
I
experience.
grew up with almost everybody.
Yeah, I ended up playing basketball 3 more years in high school. So when I got an opportunity later on in Florence to be an assistant coach, I kind of knew what I was doing, kind of knew the game a little bit. So that helped. But yeah, growing up in a small town that has the San Saba River running through it, I got to fish a lot, and it was kind of a staple of the childhood. When the pool was closed on Monday in the summer, we'd go swim in the San Saba River, and that's just how it was. And it was a blast. I wouldn't trade that childhood for anything. So it was a good experience growing up in a small town.
You gotta love growing up in a small town.
Absolutely.
Makes you appreciate almost everything else in life.
Yep.
It's kind of was like growing up in Florence.
Yeah. Yep.
A town of hardly anything, but everybody that's pretty much there has been there forever.
Right. Yeah.
New people that move in there are always outcasts for the first year or so.
Yeah. That's how I felt when I first started working there. I was always looking for the nearest river where I could go fishing. I never really did find it. I think y'all went to 777 or something like that.
Yeah,
Place.
And then Lampasas River.
Lampasas River.
So not towards Cullinan and Sport and all that.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Georgetown, Louisville, or whatever.
Yeah. There's the San Gabriel River here in Georgetown, but one of he's not a classmate. I think he was class of 03. Adam Ward used to take me fishing in the North San Gabriel River, so caught a lot of fish with him up there at his place.
Former mayor
of Bertram, Texas. Yeah. Yeah. So good times.
I think he was Army vet too. Or
Yeah, he's a Marine actually.
Marine?
Yeah, he served in Afghanistan. He's a veteran. So thanks for your service, Adam. If you see this,
I doubt he watches, but
maybe he will.
yeah, there's not a lot of people that watch these, but it's just getting started.
Yeah.
I think the one I did with Jeff was one of the most people viewed, and I was like 90%.
You're getting close.
Yeah. And then I did one with Tyler Beard.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Her
Thank you.
business partner. They opened up a new restaurant in Salado. That one was like 140, I think.
Nice.
Then a bunch of people.
Okay.
Other than that, I'd say 30 people.
Yeah.
So, not doing this to have a bunch of people watch, but
You're getting reps, man, as we say. You're getting reps, and with every rep, you get a little bit better. That's what I say.
it feels more comfortable the more I do it.
Yeah.
Like the first one I did with Jeff, it was still uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I felt awkward the whole time. but the more I do these, the better it is. I just got to get used to actually talking.
Right.
Not much of a talker these days. So playing football, did you enjoy football or tennis more growing up?
Man, it was dead even. In the fall, it was football. In the spring, it was tennis. Two separate sports, two completely different sports, but I learned to love them both. And I got to be a team player in football and go out and hit people, and I enjoyed that. I enjoyed contact. I enjoyed the strategy behind it. I've come to appreciate that every body type and every type of athlete has a place on the football field. It is the ultimate team sport, and it's a sport where if you're willing to try, you can find a spot on the team. You know, if you look at current teams in the NFL and in college football, there's guys who don't look like DK Metcalf, for example, who looks like a specimen out there.
Not a lot of people look like that.
Yeah, and no one else does. But you see guys who are walk-ons and they make it big, and guys come from small schools and they make it big. And it's just a great sport.
And are you still teaching and everything?
No, I'm just a tennis coach. So I just come in there and coach tennis early in the morning, and then we have matches after school, and that's it. And so I get to teach young kids, and I teach beginners, which is what I love because that's where all the foundation is. You know, you get kids who have been playing 5 or 6 years, they already know what they're doing, or they think they do, and then sometimes you have to reteach what they may have some bad habits, or you're not teaching at all, and you're just standing back and watching them. It's more rewarding to me to coach kids who've never played before, true beginners. So that's my passion, and that's what I love to do.
So I guess you gave up the teaching gig a while back?
Yeah, I haven't been in a classroom since 2004, maybe 5. And I went.
It had to be 5 because you were still teaching when I was in school.
Yeah, I was a school administrator for a while, and then I went straight tennis after that.
Couldn't imagine teaching.
It's not bad. You know, it is tougher now. My wife still teaches. It's a struggle. The amount of paper she has to grade, all the workload, the emails with the parents, and the grades she has to do. And I think
seems like way too much
I
work.
think she teaches 160 kids at Georgetown High School. 160 overall.
That's a lot.
So if you're thinking about buying candy for kids for Halloween, Halloween's on Friday, she has to buy at least 160 individually wrapped pieces of candy. That's a lot.
Yeah, teaching seems like way too much time consuming for it to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you really have to.
Absolutely.
The teaching kids part of it, so you get to teach for multiple years.
Yeah.
Much less have a career out of it.
Yeah.
I could never do it. Patience with people.
Right.
I would have been teaching for like a year maybe and get fired.
You'd be fine.
I guess we had a chance to, like, if you had to pick one, if you could coach football or tennis for the rest of your life, I guess you would pick tennis.
Yeah, because it's more laid back. You know, football is intense, and I love the atmosphere, but it will age you. It will beat you up and age you. I put so much effort into trying to win ball games, and when you work all week to try to win a game and you come out on the short side of it, it's tough, man. It's hard to bounce back. I actually saw an interview with Mac Brown earlier today, and he's saying after a loss he wouldn't sleep. He'd watch the game film 4 times consecutively, 4 times in a row, watching to see what he could have done differently to help the team win. So things like that, man, it's a big investment. If you get to the top of the game, it's a great paycheck for sure, but you're going to earn every cent of it. So yeah, I would coach tennis.
Yeah, because I'm sure you have like high school and college mainly. It's like a real strain on like the family life.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
It's like
Yeah,
high school,
for sure.
it's like going through film and getting practice stuff ready. And dealing with all like 15 to 18-year-old kids every day.
Right.
Not much time for the wife and kids.
Yeah. The thing about tennis is you're teaching so many skills, and you're refining and reteaching and refining again. And then once your player goes on court, it's all up to them. There is some coaching that goes on during matches, but it's not like football where you're analyzing every single play and scenario and possibility. One year we're playing against Blanco in Florence, and I'm the defensive coordinator. And we're hanging in there actually with them. And this was when Blanco was winning state titles. And I think we got lucky. We sacked them, and it's 2nd and 20. And then maybe they threw a pass or something. Now it's 3rd and 20. And so I'm thinking, all right, we got them stopped. I'm going to call this defense here that will stop every single play they can run except an inside trap. And no one's going to run an inside trap on 3rd and 20. And yet, of course, they run an inside trap for a touchdown. Lesson learned.
Yep.
But I had every other scenario covered. A sweep, a counter, pass play, screen play, draw. Everything was covered except the trap. I'm like, there's no way. 3rd and 20, no one's going to run a trap. They ran a trap for a touchdown. So,
That's like playing Liberty Hill back in the day.
Yeah, same thing.
Run the ball in the times of the game.
Yep.
And they throw that one pass play for 80 yards.
Yeah.
I remember it was my sophomore year, so that would have been the 02 season.
Yeah. I remember that game.
Yep.
We were hanging with them, and it's like 7-7 or 0-7, and they are driving on us. But again, we had them pinned back at their own 20, and basically I was calling what amounts to like a goal line defense a lot, just daring them to pass, and we were stoning them. We stopped over and over and over, and sure enough, they finally threw a pass, and it was an 80-yard touchdown.
I think it was Adam Morgan that broke the coverage.
Yeah.
I remember you screaming at him.
Yeah.
And they went on to blow us out by 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good old fun times.
Yeah. Well, I was asking Adam a lot, like basically covered half the field. And because we had a 9-man front, so we had 2 corners playing deep. Just daring them to throw, and they finally took the dare.
Through one of their 5 pass plays for the
year. Yeah. But we made them beat us not playing their game. We made them get out of their comfort zone, and we challenged them. So
that was the start of the Hills run.
It was. Yeah.
I don't know if they're good anymore, but
I don't know. I think they're still decent. And I'm sure they'll be in the playoffs. I'm sure they're still.
I actually watched them play 3 years ago. I think it was my wife's cousin had a son that played for one of the San Antonio teams.
Yeah.
They played at Liberty Hill.
Yeah.
We drove down there for that game. Still running the same offense.
Still, yeah.
Like 4 coaches later.
Wow.
Still running the same.
Still works.
Same like 5 plays.
Yeah.
And then every now and then there was still a pass over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I don't keep track of high school football anymore, hardly.
Here's the deal about high school football, and this may not be a popular take, but it's hard to watch high school football if you're not playing. If you don't have to keep playing, honestly, it gets a little boring. I'm not gonna lie. I will watch the state title games when that comes on in December, like the weekend before Christmas. You'll see all the state title games, 6-man through 6A. Those are good games.
Those used to be fun to go to.
I do like to watch. I've never been, but I like to watch them.
I used to go with Jeff back in the day when Jeff was recruiting.
Yeah, I will watch those. It's not bad.
Sit there at Cowboy Stadium all day.
Yeah, man. You can't beat it.
Yeah, I keep track of Florence. So I can look at the scores. That's about it.
Yeah.
And now we're keeping track of Georgetown because my oldest brother's wife has a kid that plays there.
Yeah. Cool.
He's a backup tackle.
I was at the Florence game Friday. Georgetown game Friday night. I watched them play against. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, we went and watched them play Leander, I think, a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Jeff called me at like 4 o'clock on a Friday. He's like, hey, you want to go to Georgetown? I was like, sure.
Nice.
I was like, I'm going to pick me up.
I was actually running a concession stand for the Georgetown High School tennis boosters. So I was in charge of putting the cheese on the nachos, which in my opinion, I think 2 big scoops, giant spoonfuls, it's like a big ladleful, two ladlefuls of cheese is the right amount.
With the price and the consistency, now you gotta have a good cheese to chip ratio.
Exactly, yeah. So
keeping the people happy in the crowd.
Yep.
All right, Coach. A little bit about your coaching and teaching background. You have a favorite place you taught or coached in? One that you enjoyed the most?
It would have to be Florence. Yeah, I mean, we had some success. 2001, we made the playoffs. 2002, we even had a better team but a tougher schedule. So the 2002 team was better than the 2001 team.
That's what me and Jeff talked about a lot.
Yeah, it was just a tougher schedule.
So if there was a way we could line up that team, the team made the playoffs, the next team,
absolutely,
we would have beat y'all 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, and Jeff knows it. He should. Jeff.
I don't think he's ever admitted it.
The 2002 team would beat the 2001 team. Sorry, man.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'd just like to think so because I was on the other team.
Yeah. Now, we were a field goal away from making the playoffs, a blocked field goal. So we were right there. And that team was 5-5 versus the team before was 7-3 and then 7-4 after the playoff loss to the Rodgers. So,
I actually talked to Coach Carter about that one in the last podcast I did.
Yeah.
He thought it was a missed field goal. It was a block.
Yeah.
I remember the double thud.
If Jake Colson ever watches this, I'll tell this to Jake's face because
He should have kicked it.
we've talked about this. We were out of timeouts. Jake was not our kicker. Jake, you weren't the kicker. Brett Hepburn was supposed to be the kicker.
Well, I thought it was J.W. Blackman.
No, it was Brett. I could be wrong.
He was one of them.
One of them, yeah, whatever. It wasn't Jake. Jake, we're out of timeouts. Jake waves our kicker off. Like, no, I've got it. It was Brandon Herron. That's who it was. Brandon
I
Herron.
remember 100% it was not Jake Colson.
Yeah, it was Brandon. Jake waves him off. He's like, I've got it. And, kid gets blocked.
He did not get it.
No.
But I think it was an unblocked guy at the end of the line. That
Yeah, it was a guy who ended up playing D1, came around the edge.
Yeah, I think he was a trap guy too.
And we were just, out athleting on that one. So, it happens.
Yeah, that was when I realized that sports isn't forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was as soon as I heard the double thud, I looked over and I see the sideline, I see Daniel Hayes just like collapse.
Yeah.
Because that's the last football game he ever played. And
Yeah.
he's like, shoot, this is real.
Yeah.
I was like, it goes by quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was when I should have taken everything serious, but I never did.
Yeah.
Florence was a decent place growing up, Coach. Coaching staffs were pretty much the same for a big chunk of it, like from like 2000 on.
Yeah, we were pretty consistent.
Because it was always like Carter, Renault, Stanzak, Futuro. I think that was like the main group of everybody.
Yeah, and
there.
then, I had like J.D. Cheney and Danny Wood and those guys.
But yeah, that was after.
Yeah, after you were gone.
Yeah.
Stanzak, those guys were. It was a good group to work with.
You still keep in touch with him?
Stanzak occasionally. It's the only one.
So that's the only person I ever.
If I ever see the Packers do something, I always text him. Like the Packers drafted one of the Longhorn receivers, so I told him congratulations on getting a good receiver. So that was about it.
Yeah, we see them like once or twice a year probably. Because Miss Stanzak and my mom have a text going with a bunch of with a couple other parents from back then.
That's cool.
That's the only reason I know about anything going on with
Yeah.
Florence or anybody from Florence. So like, hey, did you hear about this? Like, nope. I get my every couple of day update
Mm-hmm.
about everybody that grew up in the same area at the same time. Get my updates. And then I'll take my mom down there to see this damn thing like once or twice a year. So yeah, Coach, we talked about your high school growing up. Now the fun part that I guess people that know you kind of know about, but walking on to Texas. What gave you the crazy idea to start that?
Man, honestly, I wanted to help the Longhorns win more. And this is true story. I went to the 92 game, A&M versus Texas in Austin, and A&M won. And that was the fall of my senior year. I had a playoff game, a high school playoff game the next day in Brownwood. So my buddy and I drove up there at the time. We drove up there and came back for the next day for a playoff game. And I think Texas lost by like 20 or 24. We lost again 93. It was a closer game. And I remember thinking, man, I want to help this team win. So it was actually back summer of 93. I went to what they call DKR now, which was just Memorial Stadium back then. And I somehow found the football coaching office. I just kind of walked around and looked, and there was, I asked someone where the football office was, and I went and talked to a receptionist, and I told her what I wanted to do. I said who I was, and then I wanted to walk on. And she said, you need to talk to Gary Darnell. He's in charge of walk-ons. And at the time, he was the special teams coordinator. So I was like, all right, cool. I went and talked to him. And this was like June of 93. And he's like, well, you're a little late in the process to come out this year. And you are a non-recruited walk-on, so you can't even come out this fall. You have to wait till January. And then you have to go through all of off-season. And if you do well enough in off-season, we'll invite you to spring. And then if you do well enough in spring football, we'll invite you to 2 days in August. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I show up like January 10th, and it's me and 10 other true walk-ons. And they told us just wear a white t-shirt and black shorts and some athletic shoes. We were total scrubs, no locker, nothing. Just show up. We did the workouts with the team, and there were 10 of us. Anyway, I made it through. Some guys quit after a day or two because the workouts were hard, and it wasn't like they thought it was going to be or whatever. But it was a lot of running and lifting. I made it through that. Went to spring, got through that. It was tough because I was playing a new position. I was a linebacker in high school and a center, and I was trying out to be a defensive back, basically a safety. So I had a lot to learn. I lost weight. I finished high school. I was probably 200 pounds. I dropped down to 182 to play defensive back, and got through that. Got invited back to the team in August, and 94 is when I started up. The rest is history. And of those 10 guys that walked on, I was the last one standing. By the end of 96, I was the last one in the program.
I guess they would drop like flies.
Some guys dropped in January. Some guys hung on with me like for a good year or two, and then eventually just through attrition or whatever, they stepped out of the program. But I hung in there longer than anyone else. And
you ended up doing 3 years?
Yeah, so I couldn't my freshman year. Freshman year, I was just working out on my own that fall. And then I came out the spring of my freshman year. And then I could have taken a redshirt year. I could have said, well, it's a redshirt year. I'm going to take a fifth year. But then that fall of 1997, I was student teaching. I was working on being a coach. So I was student teaching and being a volunteer coach at Martin Junior High in Austin. And so I was ready to get my coaching career underway. 3-4 years, 94, 95, 96. Played with James Brown, Ricky Williams, Priest Holmes, Dan Neal, Phil Dawson, Tony Brackens, a lot of guys that went on to play in the league. Leonard Davis, Casey Hampton, great athletes, great players. Yeah, so I played on the scout team, and I would simulate the other team's defense, and I usually played one of the safety positions. I could play corner too. I was terrible at man press coverage. I get ran by, but I could fake it decently. I like to show that I was in press coverage and then bail off at the last second. That was my thing, so I could kind of not get burned too badly. But I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot, and that was my goal because I was coming from a 1A high school, and I wanted to learn more football. And I wanted to help Texas beat the Aggies, and that's what we did. We beat them in 95, 96, and then Matt Brown comes in 98, and he just continued it. So I like to think that I helped turn the tide. I mean, it might have been Ricky Williams more than anything, but I was there at the time when we started to turn things around.
And so on the team, you take credit.
What I told myself was when we did conditioning in the winter of 94, when I was just in the white t-shirt and black shorts, if I can push these guys who may be half-assing it, maybe they're going 50% on our sprints. If I can outrun them and get them to run harder, maybe that translates into spring and then into fall. And then maybe that translates into one more first down, right? One more touchdown, one more win. That's the way I saw it.
So basically, Ricky Williams won a Heisman as an NFL Hall of Famer now because some guy in a white shirt and black shorts outran him once.
We never know, man. If they were dogging it, who knows? They may have kept dogging it.
That was me. I take credit for it.
All right. Yeah.
Ricky Williams because of me.
I gave him a good look. We'll say that. Dan Neal had to pick up my blitz a few times, and that's why he's NFL, Super Bowl champion.
I don't take credit for all that.
Right. No. It was good. It was good. And the good thing is I get a free ticket to every Texas home game for life.
Nice.
Yeah. And I buy 3 more. But, and some years it's not a good. Back in 2014, 15, there were some rough times. But you got to stick it out.
Could be worse. Could be better.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. But you were Baylor before Baylor got good.
Yeah, I was Baylor to the worst times.
Yeah. You were with them in the worst times.
Still with them.
Still with them.
Back on the struggle.
You know what? Maybe they'll bounce back one day.
I'm just hoping for a bowl meeting. 6-6.
Yeah.
Back to realistic goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw speaking of Baylor, they were terrible growing up.
Yes.
And then they had a good couple of years, and then when Rule was there, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. He's going to be here for a while.
I will tell you this: in 1994, we had a 5-way tie for the conference championship, the Southwest Conference Championship. 5-way tie: Baylor, Texas Tech, Texas, Rice, maybe SMU. Did I say Texas Tech? Yeah, 5-way tie.
That was I think that was the year A&M was
A&M was ineligible because they cheated so much, and so they wouldn't even televise our game versus the Aggies that year. They did win that game, and then we started to beat them 95, 96, and then most of the times after that. But yeah, that was 1994.
Yeah, because when you were there, like your first year, they were probably like 8-4.
Longhorns were 8-4 exactly. I believe that was 8-4. We went to the Sun Bowl, and that's when Anthony Holmes. He went by Anthony back then. I didn't mention this to you, but Priest Anthony Holmes. He was the star of the Sun Bowl. Rushed for like 220 yards, had 3 or 4 touchdowns. Won us the game in the Sun Bowl against North Carolina, coached by Mac Brown. And we had team events with North Carolina. In these bowl games, you get there a week early and you do these team events. And your boosters and fans show up and they get to hang around the team. And sometimes, like at least one time, we do both teams together. So the only place in El Paso that could accommodate 500 people at a time, let's say, there's 100 on each team, and then there's fans and coaches and trainers and whatever, was this dog track in El Paso. So they took us to the dog track. And we don't know what's going on. Well, I've never been to a dog track before, but apparently you bet on dogs racing around. But anyway, they had a buffet for us, and people got up and spoke. And Rod Walker got up and he did a freestyle rap against this North Carolina guy, and Rod clearly won that one. He's an awesome freestyle rapper. Anyway, and then Mac Brown came up and spoke. And you could tell that guy could just control the room. Even though he was the coach of the other team, we all sat up and listened after the first 2 minutes. We're like, this guy can really speak. And really got our attention. And John Makovic was our coach, and he did a decent job. He was a good guy, good coach. But Mac Brown was really someone who could control a room and really got everyone's attention when he spoke.
I think he's still like that.
No, he's incredible. Yeah, he's incredible.
I don't think he does anymore, but when he was on ESPN, I was like, I could listen to this.
Yeah. I learned so much from Mac Brown. I learned about not letting one loss beat you twice. Yeah, I still use that in tennis. I tell that to my own kids. Like, don't let one point beat you a second time. You lose a point, bounce back from it. Don't think about it, what just happened. Think about the next point or the next play, as they say in football. Same thing.
And being a walk-on, I'm sure you dress out for every game, or was it just a home game?
Every home game, and then seniors would get to go to OU or A&M, depending on if A&M was the away game that year. Back then, it's kind of weird because I was in the Southwest Conference in 95, and then it switched to 96 to where we went to Big 12, and OU and A&M were both in the conference. So I got to go to OU in Dallas my senior year. And then, of course, I was always dressing out at home for A&M. So, yeah, all the home games. And I did play against the Aggies, the New Mexico State Aggies. But, got credit for a tackle.
I would leave the New Mexico State part.
Whatever. Yeah.
Nobody's going to dig into the box for him. So, nope, he's lying.
Now I just have to convert my VHS to digital somehow. I got to call that legacy box or something.
Do you still have the tape?
I still have the VHS, yeah. I don't have a VCR anymore, but I still have the VHS.
I don't know anybody that owns a VCR.
I don't either.
Maybe a pawn shop might have one.
Maybe a daycare still shows VHS to their kids.
I say it was like 4 or 5 years ago we finally got rid of my mom's.
Yeah.
I might need that here.
Yeah.
Never.
I wish you told me. Yeah.
Threw it straight in the dumpster.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
So that's gotta be kind of rewarding, getting some playing time.
It was cool, man.
Getting credit for a tackle.
Yeah.
When you say it like that, I'm assuming you didn't make the tackle, but
I got there in time to help bring it down. Honestly, I did. I was playing safety. I came in on a third down. It's third down and 8. And I'm shaking in my shoes. I'm like, oh, it's 3rd and 8. They're probably going to throw the ball. And I'm going to get burned here. I'm more up by 40. But I'm like, if this guy runs, a 9 route by me, it's going to be bad. So I'm just praying, man. I'm like, don't get burned. I'm keying the tackle. I'm keying him for run pass because I played linebacker in high school, so I know how to key the lineman. And I see that he fires off to go block the linebacker. I'm like, that's a run key. I'm coming in. And I got a quick key. I planted off my back foot. I ran in and helped assist, on the tackle. The guy was still, on his feet. I helped bring him down.
So basically, he would have broke like a 70.
Yeah, if not for me, he would have scored. Yeah, and maybe we wouldn't have covered the point spread. So, yeah.
And then, like you said, a couple of players that you played with back then, Ricky probably being the most famous out of all of them.
Yeah.
You got any cool Ricky Williams stories?
Really. Ricky was a guy, and it's a little bit annoying. I will tell you this. First day of pads in 1995, Ricky's freshman year. I remember we were out at the intramural fields where we used to practice on grass. They would bus us out there. And I just remember in the locker room after practice, the older guys saying, "Man, who's that number 11? He was hard to bring down." He goes, they're like Tyson King and Tony Brackens were talking. They're like, "That guy was tough. I got him. I barely got him down, but he was a load. He was hard to tackle." And it turned out he was Ricky Williams. And he started off as a fullback at Texas and then eventually got moved to tailback. Ricky was a guy in practice who would literally score a touchdown on every play in practice. Every play. It's a little bit annoying because you'd have to wait for him to run back with the ball. But of course, at Texas, we got like 20 balls. We just throw a new one in, and then Sean Mitchell or Priest Holmes would get the next reps. And so, it didn't really matter.
Sean Mitchell's a guy that doesn't get enough credit for being in Texas.
Sean was awesome, man. He was this fast.
I'm not a Texas fan, but like I remember all these people like growing up.
Yeah, he was awesome.
So, wasn't Sean Mitchell like an LBJ kid?
Yeah, he's from Austin LBJ. Absolutely.
I think he was returning kicks back in the day.
Now he was. We had 3 backs back then. Sean got a lot of reps. In 1995, Priest was injured. Priest got injured in the spring of '95. He had a ACL injury, so he missed all of 1995. So it was Sean Mitchell and Ricky Williams, the 2 running backs. So Priest sits out in '95. He comes back in '96, and everyone had kind of written him off. And everybody's like, "Oh, well, he had a good game at the Sun Bowl. Thanks Priest for that." Or actually, but he's done. He comes back in '96, and he actually starts going by his I don't know if it's middle name or his actual name is Priest.
I think it's his actual name was Priest, but he was going by the middle name.
And here's why: we had a recruit come in whose name was Tony Holmes. He played corner with me, and so out of kindness of his heart, Priest was like, "Well, okay, I want to avoid any confusion. I'll go by Priest instead of Anthony, and he can be Tony, whatever. He wants to be Anthony, he can be Anthony. I'll go by Priest." Dude, he's the most humble guy I've ever been around. Most humble guy, very quiet. Never bragged about himself. Never flexed off. All his accomplishments. He was just a good, great person in general. So
he ended up having like a 10 or 11 year.
Oh, and then Priest goes off against Nebraska in the Big 12 title game. That was this ring. And, we beat Nebraska 37-27.
A little close up of that one.
Then Priest goes undrafted, and then he has a great career with the Chiefs. He's the leading rusher in the NFL, 1 or 2 years.
I think he's in the Chiefs Hall of Fame, too.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy. And not very tall. He's like my height, like 5'9".
Really?
Yeah, he's like my height. Yeah, 5'9".
It's crazy when you realize that people aren't as tall as they look on
TV.
TV.
I know. Yeah, Ricky's like 5'11". He's barely taller than me.
So which one was better college running back in practice and stuff?
It'd still be Ricky because he would just run you over. Even if he didn't have a full head of steam, he can knock you over. And he did one time. Pissed me off, man. And kind of embarrassed me because I thought he'd stop running. And then he's like 2 steps from me. And he just, boom, runs me over.
Not a lot of there's probably a lot of people who say that they got ran over by Ricky.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, how do you do that? How do you generate that much force in just 2 steps? But,
his were huge.
Yeah.
Like on TV, they look huge.
Yeah.
Little tree trunks.
Yeah. You're the stout guy.
Because that's the one that's probably the closest built to our role.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't even remember I can think of, not even just at Texas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Those were fun teams to watch back then.
Oh, yeah. It was a great time to be there.
Because that was when didn't really have much cable TV back then.
Yeah.
You had to watch whatever was on local TV.
Yep. I remember James Brown was our quarterback, and I met him in fall of '93. We were both in a math class. It was called Math 301, probability. and it was the easiest math class I could find. I had to take one math class, and I still struggled. But James Brown was in my math class, and I remember Texas played at Houston on a Thursday night, and James was on TV the entire game, standing next to Coach McAdoo. Of course, he was holding a clipboard, and I saw him in class literally the next day, Friday at noon. We had in the class, and I was like, "Hey, man, I saw you on TV last night." And he's like, "Man, I should be on that field." I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." He goes, "Just watch, I will be." I was like, "Okay." I don't know. We got Shane Moran's, and he's kind of an all American high school guy, but sure. Sure enough, he starts the 94 against Oklahoma, leads us to a win there, and then 95, 96, and he goes on to just win 2 conference championships.
Yeah, Southwest in 95.
95.
Is it the first Big 12?
Yep.
Did you get to dress out for the Big 12 final with the Southwest?
No. So Southwest was just a conference, whoever.
That's how it went back then.
And I didn't get to travel for the one in St. Louis versus Nebraska. I watched it from a bar on 6th Street called BW3, I think. And it was crazy because we won the game and everyone converged in the street, like celebration. Like everyone emptied the bars and everyone was just like cheering in the streets. And then we did it again at 2 a.m. when the bars closed. It was crazy. So,
it sounds like you had a lot of fun back then.
oh, yeah.
I couldn't imagine walking on somewhere and getting beat up for a couple
Oh,
years.
I didn't know any better. The hardest part was off season.
I'd have been one of the ones that quit pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, I probably got a few concussions, but we figured things. You figure it out. Like there was a guy named Bryant Westbrook who could hit really hard, and so when we do tackling drills, I would always conveniently have to tie my shoe, maybe, and then let a freshman cut in front of me, and then he would take the brunt of that tackle, and I always feel bad, but I had to preserve myself, man, because that guy would light you up.
Sometimes you gotta be a little bit smart.
Yeah, you got to work smarter, not harder.
Know your limits.
Yeah. But yeah, that guy would hit. He hit hard. He would end up being like a number 5 draft choice for the Lions, like first round draft in the '97 draft. I mean, he went number 5 overall.
Yeah, because that was the start of Texas starting to get people on the pros.
Yeah.
I'm sure they like in the 70s and stuff. They had people
Yeah, 70s, 80s, and then we had a downturn in the mid 80s.
and mid 80s to like the late 90s.
Yeah.
Mediocre.
Yeah, around. He was like 85 to 95 was kind of a rough spot. 84 to 94 really for Texas was kind of rough.
And then Coach Willman gets on campus.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I try to help however I can.
And I think a lot of it was Matt coming into at some point.
Absolutely.
'Cause he came in 96.
He came in December '97, so his first full season was 1998. The year after I left, Texas was bad again. We went to like 5-7. So didn't even make a bowl that next year, and that was with Ricky. Ricky was a junior, and we struggled. I guess we were replacing our entire secondary and a lot of our offensive line, so we had some holes to fill. And then they managed to build it back by 1998 with Mac Brown, and he convinced Ricky to stay for another year. And we ended up, I think Texas went 9-4 that first year. Yeah.
I just remember the A&M game that year.
Yeah, that was a great game. I went to that.
I just remember the run Ricky had when he broke the record.
Yeah, we still see it on highlights.
The dive into the end zone.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I played with Wayne McGarity too. Wayne was lead blocking for him. So, I was just a fan by then. I was coaching in Baytown.
McGarity was a good receiver back in the day.
He ended up playing for the Cowboys. But I enjoyed my time there. I really did. I'm glad I did it.
This concludes part 1 of our conversation with Coach Willman. Join us next week for part 2. Until next time, I'm your host, Joe, and thanks for catching up with me.